I don't know. Okay, who wants to start?
I think Kris does.
Okay, Kris wants to start. Welcome to Zodiac Attack.
Yay!
We're going to be talking about some Chinese zodiac things, Chinese culture, and all that jazz. From our first experience, we all figured out what animal we were. I'm an ox, Claire's a rat, and Brooke is a tiger. In my own experience, I didn't know that I was an ox. I always thought I was a tiger, but because of the cultural differences and the way that Chinese New Year works, I'm actually an ox. My lack of cultural understanding then, therefore, hindered me from identifying that I was actually an ox over a tiger, because Capricorns are very stubborn and we don't actually look into other things, just going into other astrology there. And I drew that connection immediately. An ox is stubborn and so is a Capricorn. Also, apparently 5 and 6 aren't my lucky numbers, when in reality I've been using them in the lotto since I was little. So that might be why I'm not a millionaire yet. That might be why. Lottoception at this point. That's my experience with the Chinese zodiac so far. Claire?
Okay, so I am a rat, which is horrible. Not prestigious or nice in any way whatsoever. But upon further research, I found that Chinese culture actually paints rats as alert and intelligent, which is a slight improvement. I'm also a fire rat, if you include my element, which sounds really awesome as well. So it's getting better.
Chicken burn you.
Each source that I viewed told me that I was really talkative and overly social, which isn't true at all. It's also something that Sagittarius people are described as, which is again something that I don't get. But other aspects were more close to the truth. I'm not a fan of routine. I do prefer to work at my own pace, trying a variety of different things in creative ways. And I also found that career choices that are suited to me are extremely varied. So from things like writer, which is something I would like to be, to entrepreneur, race car driver, which is a definite no.
Why not?
But the only thing those career choices hold in common is their respective freedom and lack of respective routine. So on to Brooke.
Alright, I am a tiger, so there's a nice little bit of variety in the table.
Apparently, we don't actually work as a team.
Oh yeah, we're completely incompatible.
We're completely incompatible,
Yeah.
which is
Disclaimer.
great.
We hate each other.
It doesn't matter what kind of zodiac it was, we compared every single, straight, zodiac as in, astrology, Chinese zodiac. There was also some other weird thing about our birth dates, and there was no scenario that made us a good team.
We're very incompatible.
But here we are, so up yours, Zodiac.
Define the odds.
I've known I was a tiger for many years. Apparently, people born in the year of the tiger are brave, competitive, unpredictable, and self-confident, which I would say is pretty good.
You see, that's what I thought I was as well. I had a lot of characteristics of a tiger, but I don't know if that was because I thought I was a tiger or if because...
It's are you projecting yourself onto what they say you should be?
Exactly.
Or...
I didn't know if I was saying, oh yeah, I'm self-confident because I'm a tiger. But I don't know if that was actually me or if that was the whole mindset of being a tiger talking. So I think that has a lot to do with us as individuals wanting to belong to something and wanting to feel like a part of something as well.
I think that also
really
it builds on the positive values. If you read something positive about yourself, you're going to be like, oh my god, that's so me.
Yeah.
But if we get into the negative aspects of a tiger, you'd probably be like, oh my god, that's incorrect.
That's
Just an interesting note though, everything that it describes about tiger is kind of goes against what a Pisces is described as.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So whereas you said that the Capricorn and the Ox
are very similar.
They're similar, but tiger and Pisces is different. So
that's very interesting as well.
Not really sure. Yeah.
Well, in every culture, there's a different zodiac. Even Australia has its own version of the Chinese zodiac. She'll put up some here, which is extremely cool. And apparently, I'm a wombat instead of an ox. So.
Oh, what was the tiger version?
The tiger version was a Tasmanian tiger, and the rat was a kangaroo.
Which is a lot better than rat.
It's interesting how the connotations of an animal have a different set of characteristics. Here in Australia compared to China, and other cultures, you wouldn't think that a rat is supposed to be prestigious, or anything like what you said. Mm-hmm. You'd think that it was a vermin, you want to kill a rat, not we want to kill. Not we want to kill that.
We're incompatible. There it is. You're throwing dirt on my success.
I'm gonna take all of this and turn it straight into a little bit of history about the Chinese zodiac. So Chinese zodiac is usually learned in the form of a story. That was how I learnt it. Apparently these guys hadn't heard the story. Maybe it's just me. But there's a story about the 12 animals racing towards the heavenly gates. Buddha had set them up a challenge. The first person there would be the first one in charge of the gate, and it would therefore be first on the 12-year cycle. So all these animals are racing towards the gate, and the rat, realizing that he wasn't the fastest or the strongest, decided to use his brains and actually jumped on the back of the ox, which is how...
We didn't know that. I didn't know this.
Yeah, so he jumped on the back of the ox, and that's how he got across the river, because otherwise he wouldn't have been able to swim across the river.
Lovely.
So as the ox is about to cross the line, the rat jumps off him and crosses the line first, which is why the rat is actually the first.
I like that.
I don't like that. That's cheating.
So that's why the ox is second and the tiger's third.
Did you also know that the only reason that there's not a cat in the Chinese zodiac is because the rat told it the wrong time? Claire is just getting more and more mischievous and Machiavellian as we talk.
But I'm coming out on top.
She's coming out on top. Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Well, there's in the Vietnamese version of all of this. I can't remember what animal is switched out, but they actually have a cat in their 12-year. So
would it be the tiger?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, the rat is made out to be very quick-witted, I think it was.
Yes.
Claire is very quick-witted.
This is horrible. I'm going to have no friends after this.
Sorry, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse and goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. And pig's last because he decided to have a feast halfway through.
I would do that as well.
I feel like I should be a pig.
Yeah, we should all just be pigs, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then as Kris was saying about the cat before, that's kind of, Chinese use that as why rats don't like cats, because the cat has held that against the rat since the race, so that's why rats are afraid of cats.
Like Tom and Jerry, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is that's very interesting how we've used Tom and Jerry like that, and the Chinese had the same kind of spin on it, kind of thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then over time, each of the animals has been given their own traits, and each one of them is celebrated. I think this year is the year of the rooster.
Yeah, this year's the year of the rooster. Overwatch taught me that. There was the year of the rooster event, and I got all the loot boxes, and it was great.
Wow.
I'm such a nerd.
Gosh. All right. I'll hand over to Claire, who'll tell you a bit more about the Chinese zodiac.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the methodology. So what we've been talking about are our experiences with our year animal sign, but it gets a bit more specific than that because it's just not really feasible to divide the entire human race into 12 categories. So first of all, China has developed independently of the rest of the world for much of history. Therefore, Chinese astrology has its own symbolism, interpretation of celestial influences and measurement of time. So even though for day-to-day life, China uses the same calendar we do, the zodiac follows a different traditional one, and that's why their Chinese New Year is a bit later, and why Kris thought he was
a tiger.
Yeah.
Not an ox. Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you're not a tiger.
It's interesting, like, how I thought that because I wasn't educated. That makes me sound very dumb, but, like, I didn't know that was how it worked.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of other people might think that they're a different animal as well than they actually are.
But how did you realise that? Because Chinese New Year is always celebrated in February.
I know, but when I look online, it's always like 1998, Year of the Tiger. So I always thought,
that's true.
Year of the Tiger, that must be me.
So that's like a cultural...
It's a culture difference, for sure.
It's like lost in translation almost.
Definitely.
So as well as the 12 different animals, there are also 5 elements. Not elements as we associate them with, but they're moderating energy. So we have metal, water, wood, fire, and earth.
Oh, that's like you said you were the fire rat.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure I'm a fire ox as well. I think it's like the 5 years that we're born in are fire.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
No, because I'm an earth tiger.
Oh,
yeah, so it
interesting.
rotates. So there's actually 60 different years that you can be born in.
Oh.
But as well as that, they also look at the month. Each month is ruled by a different animal, and then each 24-hour day is separated into 12 two-hour periods. So you can look at like a whole, there's all these different facets, so they all represent different things, which is really cool. Additionally, each animal is assigned a yin or yang orientation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a fire rat, which represents passion and dynamic energy, which is
Definitely Claire.
Okay, Brooke, what was you at?
Earth, yeah.
Okay, so Earth represents focus and commitment to achieving goals. I see that. Do you see
Oh,
that?
yeah, I see that. I see that in Brooke.
Why do we both like Brooke so much but hate each other?
It's probably since you beat me in the race. I'm just going to go back to it every
I feel like I'm
time.
the glue that's holding this group
I feel
together.
that, hey?
Yeah.
So also, I'll go through the others just really briefly. Metal represents solidity and willpower. Water represents responsiveness and persuasion, and wood represents imagination and creativity.
It's interesting.
So again, I just think it's interesting how people define their zodiac as only the year, and it's actually not that well known.
And yet not like
that there's so
clear-cut.
much more.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if you don't look at it like I did, like if you don't look deep enough into it and know the culture and understand that and envelop yourself in it, like the Ellis reading, you're not going to actually understand who you are in the culture, I guess. That was really deep,
So
I think.
deep.
But like, yeah, you're not going to know what your what your actual sign is unless you go and research it yourself or someone else researches it for you, which is kind of like incentive, I think, to finding out who you really are and your values.
I think it's interesting as well to consider that for us it's a whole heap of fun. Oh, look what we are, and we didn't really realise it at first. But for Chinese people, it's so deeply embedded into their culture. Like they would know all of this stuff from birth.
Yeah.
So, for example, people actually plan when to have children based on the zodiac year and
Yeah,
stuff. So can you
I heard
imagine saying, "Oh, I'm not going to have kids until
The year of
such
the
and
rooster.
such year because I want a certain type of
having
kid."
dragons as their kids.
Dragon kids.
Dragon kids.
No one wants a rat
dragon.
kid.
You know, in Chinese
Yeah.
mythology,
I
dragons
wonder-
are
Luck and stuff.
they're revered.
Yeah, I wonder if they have a bigger celebration for the year of the dragon than any other year. Because the Chinese New Year is getting bigger and bigger every year. It's being celebrated in more countries. It's being celebrated bigger and bigger every year, like as our New Year is. So I wonder if they enjoy one year more than another, if they enjoy their animal more than another, if they enjoy a specific one, if they hate their year. Like if they hate a specific year, like if they hate the rat, or if they hate the ox, or if they hate the tiger, and they just love the dragon. I wonder if they resonate with a specific animal over another. Because like we resonate with centenaries and stuff, and new decades and new other things, I guess. So
Yeah,
I wonder
well,
if they-
I guess in our astrology, there's no real there's no
there's no real celebration of our astrology.
Well, not even that. There's no hierarchy.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, in the Chinese zodiac, you've got the rat at the top,
Yeah.
and then everyone else underneath it. So do they celebrate the rat more?
Exactly.
Is the pig like the least liked? Whereas our, the Western zodiac, it's just a circle.
Yeah, that's interesting as well. Also, I do have some data here. So between 1980 and 2002, there was a slight downward trend in the birth rate in China. But during the years of the dragon, which are 1988 and 2000, there was a spike in birth. So that kind of really shows you, like, how crazy is that? Can you imagine, like, planning to have a child and being like, no, I don't want to have a Libra. Like, no.
No. I would hate to have a Capricorn. Jeez, they're so stubborn. Now onto the media. So, what is the Zodiac in the media? Basically, what we are focusing on in this one is basically anime, card games, movies, TV shows, what else are we? Books. There's a really good Chinese Zodiac book. And did I say video games?
Yeah.
Yep, okay, well, a bit more video games. It's interesting how they're always conveyed as being very strong and powerful and overseeing. In the majority of anime that I've watched that include them, they're always in a position of power and reign over a people. We'll first talk about anime and animations. So, Japanese anime using Chinese zodiac information and like the methodology and the mythology of the Chinese zodiac is quite interesting because some animes are actually made over in China. They're produced in China and then brought over to Japan to sell, which is quite interesting. I watch all of my anime on Crunchyroll, a streaming service, and sometimes I may stream illegally.
Oh no!
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
How could you?
Ooh. But yeah, they're always going back to the trope of the Zodiac always being in power. Like in Hunter x Hunter, there's the Zodiacs who reign over all of the other hunters, which is a little bit contextual, but they are the main group of people who set out the rules and the main protagonists of the series who decide everything that happens in the world, basically. There's a new one, actually, that I've been watching recently called Juni Taizen, which is about 12 individuals who have characteristics of the Zodiac and are fighting for a prize, which is one wish. which is quite interesting. It includes all of them. So far, a few have died. It is a deathmatch like that of Battle Royale and The Hunger Games. It is a great anime. I definitely recommend it. Basically, every character has a direct correlation to and resonates to a member of the Zodiac, and they have the personality traits and the aesthetic appearance of their chosen animal / Zodiac character. In Digimon Tamers, which is a anime which I've watched many times, and it is a kids anime and it's great because I love it so much. They have the Digimon Sovereign, which is basically the main evil of the show, which is quite interesting because a lot of the Zodiac animes that I have watched paint the Zodiac in an evil manner as well. So there's definitely two sides. There's a power, and then there's also evil / good, which are made very prominent. And they're always relating back to these tropes of their own Zodiac member and the characteristics of their own Zodiac member.
You talk about good and evil. Do you think that's like almost like a God thing? Like God's the Almighty One, you have to respect, but you need to fear them as well?
Yeah, I think so, because they are very powerful in our, like, they control, we assume, they control our values and who we are as people. Mm-hmm. So I think that they have a lot of power over the Chinese adherents of Buddhism, I think their religion is. The main religion, Buddhism, yeah. So it obviously would have a lot of power over them. It would make them want to
the Chinese Zodiac is part of Buddhism.
Yeah, they want to emit these feelings of their own Zodiac member. There's also been a lot of speculation in Pokemon, of all things. Each fire starter relates to some sort of Chinese Zodiac so far, like Zodiac member so far. So,
wait, really?
Yeah, so Charmander would be related to the dragon, the first one. Cyndaquil would be related to the rat. It's described as a fire rat. Torchic would be a rooster. Chimchar would be a monkey, obviously. Tepig would be the pig, obviously. And Fennekin would be a dog, which is a bit loose, but like it's still quite easily to see, even though he's a bit of a fox, so you know. And Litten would be the tiger. So it's a speculation, it's a theory, but it's quite interesting that people have attributed fire to these to the Zodiacs as well. Like, I don't know if that's Nintendo / Pokemon Game Freak creators being like, oh yeah, let's do something cool, or like if it's actually just coincidence that they've done that. It is intriguing how different cultures and mediums use these tropes in their media in such unique and innovative ways. The culture around spirituality and astrology is becoming more and more prominent in the media, and it will be explored a lot in the future. Like, there's a good book, I forget what it's called, The Zodiac Race. It's a very, very good book relating to the race that Brooke was talking about. Brings them all to life, brings every Zodiac member to life, and it's just a great book to read. And yeah, so other forms of media would include Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a Zodiac archetype, which is basically, well, Zodiacs, but in card form. They're all animals, they're very powerful. They actually got banned a lot because of how powerful they were. Again, relating back to this image of power that they have, they were actually banned. A lot of their cards were banned, and they were known as the best deck in the game for a very, very long time, only being played in tournaments of very, very high level, which is quite interesting. Holy Beast Online is another game which is online, relates to the Chinese Zodiacs very heavily. Holy Beast, again, God, very powerful again. The Jackie Chan Adventures, which is an American animation, again, relating to the Zodiacs and the deities and stuff. Jackie Chan, I love you. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the media as well.
Guess what I just found?
What?
On a side note, apparently the rat and the ox make good love compatibility partners.
But we hate each other.
Yeah, we hate each other though, which is quite interesting.
Love-hate relationship.
Yeah, it's a love.
You love me and I hate you.
All right.
Did you get that?
There's so much disparity. Like, the only way we can access this information
is the internet.
And there's hundreds of different websites, and each website says something different. Because I swear, one website said that I was a fire tiger, and then another one said I was an earth tiger. We read a website before that told us we were all incompatible, but now we're learning that we are compatible. So is that lost in translation?
It's again?
I think
it's a lot of guessing, I think. Knowing who you are as a person.
This is a little bit of a tangent.
That's very deep.
So deep. My best friend in high school was Thai, and they have their own zodiac system, and so she used to because it was crazy accurate for her. She used to go on that website and look up my horoscope and translate it for me. But I didn't even know what zodiac sign I am because there was no word for it in English.
Really?
Oh, wow.
So she'd just tell me all these like really random things.
But that would happen?
She insists they will all happen.
How'd that
So
happen?
yeah. Well, apparently, like my soulmate is like a black man. So, sorry, Kris.
So it's not me then?
It's crazy. No, it's not you. You're safe.
Great,
much
I'm
for love
safe.
accountability.
No, I didn't say no to the police. Oh.
Finger.
I think that's what we should
I have like a microphone weapon.
I feel like I'm so removed from all this drama. But just on a funny side note, apparently the only other famous Earth tiger, is Joseph Stalin. So there you go.
Aim high, Brooke. Aim high.
Look at who
I'm in good company.
Brooke's in good company. So that's it for Zodiac Attack. Well, this version at least. We may do more like Thai, Japanese even. We might do some more research onto it.
Oh, we're going to do a Western Zodiac too.
We have to do the
We
Western
do.
Zodiac as well, yeah, definitely. So that is it for the Chinese Zodiac.